Hello, hi, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel, and today we're doing a chatty Sephora sale haul. I cannot believe my package arrived. It was the perfect day for it. So let's jump in. So that intro, I'm not even going to try to keep redoing it. My Sephora package came. I'm so excited because it is Friday. I have not filmed. You saw one video go up this week. I thought I really hit my stride last week, but you know, life. So my hair, sometimes I come to you where I am. This is where I am. I've got an oversized poplin dress from Banana Republic factory. Had to think for a second. And my hair, you know, she's scooched down so you can see. I did okay. You can see the bobby pins. You know, I don't know. I don't know. But the first thing I picked up that we're going to test is this flyaway wand from Bondi Boost. The packaging is very, very fancy. It sounds and feels like glass, but it is plastic. You can tell by the feel that it's plastic, but listen to that. Also, these nails, don't get me started. Don't get me started. But I do want to test this out. It smells like the ingredients. It's not the most pleasant thing, but let's try this guy back here. So here you can start to see, I think, some of the little grays and the whites that I'm getting, but let's see. Well, don't stick the brush in your hair as I just did. Let's do this. This is gonna be easier. Flyaways, no more. This brush is no joke. It's very grippy. Very grippy. But see, it did take care of those in the front. Let's dip. You guys, this is going to be all over the place, if you couldn't tell. We're jumping right in, but it's going to be all over the place. Let me see if I can get a good shot. I mean, I've got frizzies galore. Actually, as much as I want these down, I just want to see what happens. See what I mean by the brush is no joke? Like, it'll pick things up for you. Ooh, yeah. And it doesn't feel heavy or gel-like, so I'm going to let that sit. We'll revisit this, but I think if I had my hair parted, it would be a lot easier for you to see and to do, but for now, we're going to test this little patch. Still wet, so we'll revisit that, but I am very happy to have this. A couple other things we're not going to test on camera today. I got the Kerastase, I don't know. Resistance, this is the thermal protection that Ted from Buffalo Beauty Boy recommended. It is much smaller than I anticipated for $20, but we're going to try it, not today. Also picked up the dry shampoo. Very excited to have that in my life from Orbe. Then the topicals, Slather, their exfoliating body serum. Very excited to test that out. We'll keep you posted for sure. Trying very hard to get back in the saddle, but I gotta be honest with you. My menstrual cycle started, my period, whatever you want to call it. And man, she destroyed me. It's been a week. And on top of that, I'm prepping a 3-day workshop to run at work. So that's why, and I'm all over the place. It's Friday. The week just ended. I'm very excited to get into this, but the beginning's going to be a little rocky, so I apologize. We talked about all the kind of hair and body products. The samples I picked up, True Cream Moisturizing Balm, it's my favorite. Moisturizer, I figured why not. Then I got a sample of the Vanilla Woods from the 7 Virtues. This has been on my list to smell. Right now it's kind of reminding me of like, what is it, warm vanilla sugar? Yeah. Oh yeah. Maybe a little bit more grown up. I'm going to let that dry down and we'll revisit. All right, I do need to do one thing. So I already have the Phytosurgent C Submerge on my face. The rest of my skin prep we're going to do with products that I picked up, but I really got to tackle these brows because every time I remember to do it, I'm sitting in front of the camera and it's driving me nuts. It's not going to be true to how the products lay on the skin if I don't clean up some of this hair. You're probably going to see hair just flying because the unibrow was strong. She might be blonde, but she is strong and mighty. And I'm going to skip over that. So while we do that, that's why it's going to be crazy. I don't know. I'm sorry. I know I don't have to apologize, but if you're new here, it's not how it normally goes, although I wouldn't say this channel is without chaos. Slow and steady chaos. I might have just cut my face. I'm trying to be gentle, but I mainly just need to clean up the tails, and mostly this, because I really want to give this concealer the best shot. We are going to be talking about the concealer that's on everybody's minds, and I'm so excited. I cannot wait. I feel like everybody ended up picking it up in the sale, so I'm very excited. Okay, I think that's as good as it's going to get today. Let's move in to skin prep. So I have a decent amount of hydration with the Sea Submerge. I don't want to go in with Verdant Force Field because it is hot. That's the other thing. Fan's going to be in the background. I look disheveled. It's hot. But I want to try the Rose Inc Solar Power Luminous SPF 30 Serum. Very excited. Look how teensy. I think that this is, it says luminous. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's hydrating. So let's see what this is going to be like. Oh, very anticlimactic. Okay, I think I might hate this dropper. I'm trying my best. That's the third time. Nothing's coming out, and it's getting so messy already. Oh, she wobbly. I don't like this delivery system, and it got all over. Can you see that? It got all over this. The juice might be worth the squeeze, though. Let's see. Just smells like ingredients. Smells like sunscreen. Smells like mineral sunscreen. Oh, gosh. It looks like it had, like, a pink tint to it. But I am now... Oh, I don't know. She's thick. I think I was hoping... Because it said serum serum, I was hoping for more of a serum texture. This feels very kind of old school mineral SPF. On initial texture, I much prefer the Live Tinted Hue Guard. And I was right in not... Look how red I am. I was right in not applying Verdant Force Field because this is a very kind of like... This is oilier feeling than the Biossance mineral sunscreen, if you're familiar with that. Yeah, look at the oil left behind on my hands. Oh. These things that I have today might not mix together. If we get to a point where it's not looking good, I will remove, and I'm very glad I only got a small thing of this because... Ooh, I think the texture and the oiliness is off-putting enough for me to say it's a no for me, dog. Oh, look, cleaning supplies. I'll just hide that. I'm going to give this a minute or two to see what sinks in before we move on to the next step. Oh, fingers crossed. Ew. Okay, it's been about 2 minutes. It did sink in a little bit, but I still get a little bit of an oily feel and coming off on my fingers. Also, this is fully set down. I think it could get a tiny bit crunchy if you apply a lot, but I think I'm going to end up really loving this because if you're like me and you have very fine hair and you don't want to add heavy things to the scalp area because of scalp acne, I think that this is an excellent solution because it's not as heavy as that bedhead stick of oil that everyone is using, or even the Kristen S coconut oil, but it does the job. I like it. I like it very much. Okay. I picked up the Glow Recipe Strawberry BHA Pore Smooth Blur Drops, and I wanted to use this in my T-zone, and I am concerned. I have concerns. Number one, on how this is going to play with that Rose Inc that we just added. It's so cute. But also how it's going to play with the concealer. I want to see what it smells like. I think there is a strawberry tint, but I'm not getting a ton of it, and it is pretty It's viscous, don't get me wrong, but you see it run down a little bit. And a lot came out when I just did a... Oh, it feels very watery. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to love what I just put down. It feels very watery and hydrating, and I'm not getting a ton of like... It doesn't have like a strong silicone feel. I probably should have done this before SPF. But I just want to... We're only going to do it on half the face because I don't know what it's going to do to everything else. So we'll have kind of like a non-side. This is very like watery, hydrating feeling, which I'm very happy about. So I would probably do this after C-Submerge and before moisturizer and SPF. In the summer before SPF and after my hydrating serums. But I wanted this, A, to help with some congestion. And, you know, if it blurs, I'm into it, you know? It's funny to me it doesn't have a strong smell just because it's Glow Recipe. It's going to be hard also to tell because that SPF made me quite shiny in not necessarily the most flattering way. It's very luminous, but it's not really light refracting. But I think I'll zoom in side to side. I think maybe it helped a little bit, but we're going to have to try this because more than the blurring effects, I'm more interested in the BHA aspect of this. So time will tell with this, but I can't get over how kind of lightweight, watery it feels, and it is not really silicone-y at all. At all. You can kind of see it does give you hydration. This hand has it. Does give you some hydration. I guess, yeah, you can kind of see. Did it blur? I think maybe it did. Yeah, we'll continue to play with that. But it's dried down fairly quickly, and now this feels a lot more matte than this side. Like this side still has a little bit of tackiness from that SPF. I think I'm going to like this in the T-zone specifically, so I'm excited. Excited I got that. Then to the most exciting thing. Yeah, this would be my top most exciting purchase. It's the Givenchy Prism Libre Skin Caring Concealer, and she is large and in charge. I'm very happy about this. From what I have heard, it is hydrating, but it lasts a long time. So this says it's skin caring multi-purpose concealer, 24-hour correction, 24-hour hydration. Let's see. It is water-based. There is glycerin, a couple other hydrating ingredients, some extracts. Yeah, I'm excited. I got the shade in 95. I think this is probably going to be my closest match, if maybe a little... Oh, no. She dark. All right, back to the drawing boards. Can I test this on my skin? Let's just... A little dab will do you. Let's see what it blends out to. That looks okay. Let's swatch it here, and then I'm going to swatch... Because I did pick up... That looks really nice, by the way. The NARS Light Reflecting Foundation is my favorite foundation, and I have traditionally been wearing this in the shade Mont Blanc, but I've noticed that it's a little dark towards the bottom of my face in comparison to my neck, so I wanted to see... I'm gonna destroy this package, and Frank is snoring. I wanted to see what Siberia would look like, potentially, if it's a better match. So mine has also kind of gotten a little darker. But looking at them in the bottle, I was afraid that Siberia was going to be too yellow, and she's looking yellow. I might have just been totally off with my color analysis here. But I want to swatch that. There. She's light and yellow. Oh, goodness. And then here, is Mont Blanc. I almost feel like I'm in between the two. You can see that Mont Blanc is much more neutral. Definitely Siberia is very yellow. And then we have the Prism Libre, which honestly is the best match of all three. Is that for sure? I'm not buying this. Let's do this. We've got Mont Blanc. See, a little dark. A little dark. Then we've got Siberia. Oh! Siberia. Closer, a little yellow. And then we've got in 95. I'm in dangerous waters here with my shirt. Not the shirt I should have chose. Okay, in 95. Okay. And 95 is definitely too dark. So is Mont Blanc. I swear this has gotten darker as I've had the bottle. The bottle's is a year old because I got it in the last spring Sephora event sale. And then Siberia is too yellow. But I'm wondering with all the redness in my face if we can make it work. But I really wanted to try this concealer as an all-over face product. We're going to try it. If I look crazy, you know what? We're not really going anywhere today. So we're going to try it out. And I can always bring in my rose ink to add just a little bit of brightness. I should have taken those swatches off. I am so curious about this concealer. When I tapped it out, it looked very lovely. Let's go ahead. I'm going to wipe these swatches off delicately as to not ruin my shirt here. That Mont Blanc swatch is wild. I just read myself to filth on the internet. Clearly not my shade. Clearly. Okay, I'm going to start there. I also probably should have, done one section at a time. So that's also great. I'm telling you, we're a hot mess today. Yeah, I do think I'm going to end up taking that and getting a lighter shade because it is a little bit worse of a match in person. Okay, first go at it. I definitely added more to this side. First go, definitely medium coverage. I will say though, the way it lays on the skin is beautiful. Even on top of that nightmare of an SPF. I said it. I'm gonna add a little bit more over here to the nose and the chin just for a little bit more coverage. I definitely think that this is going to replace the Kosas in my collection. I do love that concealer, but will say that I would much rather have something with a stronger preservative system in it so that I don't have to worry if it's gone off. And that's just the tea. But also, I think that this lays on my skin better than the Kosas. And so far, I don't have an issue blending it out by doing my entire face and not working in sections. This color match is wild, though. I will say. I do want to show you close up, though, on my chin because I still have quite a bit of texture because I'm trying to get into like a very major prescription retinol routine again. I might end up going with a non-prescription. I don't know. We'll see. I almost feel like this side looks more blended because I added more down here. I think just, I don't need coverage there, but I need the color to at least be consistent across my face. Same with up here. I'm just going to take whatever's left over on the brush and try to add a little color. I think once we get blush and everything on, it'll be passable for this video, but I'm definitely getting the right color. Okay, I want to show you up close because I have pretty scaly dry texture on both sides of the corner of my mouth here, and this is laying beautifully. Better than the rose ink, better than Kosas. Like, I'm kind of shocked. Even with tugging, like I'm not just patting, I'm tugging the brush. That would usually lift up all of that flaky skin. Look at my cheek. I'm very, very luminous, and I think most of that finish is from the rose ink. We're gonna have to definitely do a revisit once I get the right color, but okay. Khaki was right. I think this is gonna be my new concealer of choice, which is very exciting. Siberia, I don't know. That's for another day. I think I need to look deep within on this NARS foundation color situation. I don't think there's another color that's going to work, though. If there is, I'll pop on the screen, but I might stick to Mont Blanc because it's not so glaringly obvious, if you ask me. All right, next I do want to powder under my eyes just a bit. I do think that that's going to set down. I don't find that it's creasing more than any other concealer. I know everyone is saying that it doesn't crease. I do have very oily SPF on though, so I'm gonna go in with Westman Atelier, my favorite powder, and I did pick up the Rare Beauty highlighting brush because I wanted to see if it would compare to the Eco Tools. Eco Tools is much kind of flatter and wider, whereas this is more circular, but I feel like it's going to hold the same purpose in my collection. It does spread out just a bit, but the reason I like this is because I like to powder literally just under my eyes and around my nose. I don't need a big powder brush to do that. And then my eyelids, sometimes I'll powder around my chin. I'm probably going to powder a little bit more than typical today because that SPF is so bothersome. That SPF is a no for me. I also picked up I think this is the bronzer or powder brush. I was hoping that it would be similar to the Beautypie all over face powder brush, which is here. And then for size comparison, this is the Pro Blend brush from Beautypie. So I feel like it's pretty much in the middle of these three. Let me get the top of the ferrule. Closer to the all over, I will say this has had a lot of use and kind of expands as you use it. So I tapped on the Rare Beauty a little bit and it's going to expand, but not quite as much as the Beautypie. It's not quite as tapered as the Beautypie, but again, curious if it'll hold it the same purpose in my collection, but I am going to use that because that SPF has me super dewy and a little itchy. I'm just going to do the top of my face. I feel like when I say it makes me itchy, it's like if I have anything super tacky on my face and like dust or whatever sticks to it, I'm itching, you know? Dust allergies. I keep seeing a ton of light, and I know we're going to use other products over this, but man, that SPF. And after powdering, I can't get over this. Even if this concealer doesn't look quite perfect, know that it's on top of a very oily SPF, very heavy oily SPF. It looks fabulous for that. And being powdered with a very light powder. I kind of love it. I truly do. Moving on. I really kind of hope that the mic picks up a little bit of Frank's honk shoeing because it is a honk shoe situation. Next, I picked up Bright Side in the Warm Wishes bronzer from Rare Beauty. So this is what Bright Side looks like. Let me go grab Power Boost and we'll do a comparison. Okay, This is somewhat upsetting. So here's Power Boost. Here is the new shade Bright Side. It looked so much different on the website. And the reason I don't really like Power Boost is because it's too yellow. But we're still kind of in the yellow. It's a little bit more neutral. I'm going to give it a go on my cheeks. I am not over the moon about how little difference there is. So I don't know. I do not know. It already looks it's like a little different. I don't want to discredit that, but it's not enough of a difference for me. I actually am going to swatch my favorite bronze, which is the Gucci, next to both of these. And you'll be able to see I like quite a bit of rosiness. So I don't know. Thought it was going to be much cooler. I am going to use the new, to me, Rare Beauty blush brush. It looks very lovely. It's got like duo lengths. It's not duo fiber necessarily, but it's definitely got different lengths, if you can see that. Very exciting. I'm going to use that to blend this out. See what we're working with. Maybe I'm speaking too soon because this actually does look nicer. And if you're curious what Power Boost looks like on my skin, I did use that in the Sephora sale video. I filmed a whole get ready with me of that look. And I gotta be honest, I don't know if it's gonna go up because if you can imagine, it's even more kind of crazy than this. Okay, I do think I like this shade better. It's still not like my perfect bronze shade. This honestly is probably closer in color to the Merit bronzer stick. We're going to compare that once I blend this in. If it is super similar to that, I don't know what I'm going to do. It looks a little more rosy blended out on my skin. Did I judge too harshly? I do like this brush. This brush is very, very soft. Let me go grab the Merit bronzer stick. Okay, very, very interesting. So up top we have the Merit bronzer stick. It looks like it is closer to the new shade from Rare Beauty, but it's almost like in between the two. But when the Merit blends out, it's more sheer of a pigment base that it's not as kind of yellow as that original Power Boost shade from Rare Beauty. And then this is just rosy. You know, I love me a good rose. These are very similar. This Merit one might be a hint rosier or oranger. I like it. Let me back up. I love the formula of these Warm Wishes bronzer sticks. I was just hoping for more of a difference with color. This is definitely more suited to my skin. It's not as yellow at all, so I do think it accomplished that. So I don't think I'm as upset about this, and I will keep it and probably pass the Power Boost on to someone in my life that will get more use out of it. But I'm not like over the moon about the new shade. It's kind of like, it's nice. If you need a shade that's more neutral than anything else, I would say neutral leaning, the slightest bit yellow, not as orange and yellow as the original lightest shade. Yeah, absolutely. But it's almost splitting hairs. It looks better on, but it's growing on me. Maybe I'm being harsh. I was expecting something a little rosier, a little cooler. It is much better suited to my skin tone. So moving on. You know, just moving on. I picked up a re-up of my brow pomade, from Merit, the 1980. I get it in blonde. This is my very favorite. So I'm going to use my Benefit Gimme Brow Volumizing Fiber Pencil, which we're like getting through, but that she lasts forever. I'm going to use that. And then the Merit, this is my typical brow. I'm very excited now that we cleaned up the tails in the unibrow area, but I still need to trim the hair at the beginning of my brows because it's very, very long. I have not done that brow upkeep to my brows probably since I filmed that video, which is so embarrassing. No, probably only done it one other time, which is still far, far too long because that's been months and months. Yeah. She's also looking darker today. I think the key is sharpening this more often, which is probably why I keep saying it lasts forever. I'm such a mess. Thank you for being here and supporting such a mess. Yes, lovely brow. I am very excited that I picked up another one of the Merit Brow Gel. It's my favorite because it lends itself really well to being worn over a pencil, and it doesn't add too much. Like, it doesn't deposit too much wax or gel, pomade, whatever you want to call it, to each individual hair. However, if it's a day that I don't really want to take the time to fill in with a pencil first, it does deposit enough color to kind of fill in my brows to the point where I don't feel like a lunatic running around with half filled in brows. So it's kind of like that Goldilocks in between formula for me. I can wear it with or without a pencil and my brows look done and they don't ever look chunky. Was noticing that the Merit kind of deposits quite a bit on each brow hair, which is totally fine. But if you're like me and you have some sparse areas, it just kind of highlights that a little bit more. So I'm very glad I picked this up. Mine was starting to get questionable if I could scrape any more out, and also it was getting kind of clumpy on me and drying out. So I'm happy to have that back in my life. Then I do want to use some blush. I'm probably just going to stick with Condensate from Phytosurgence, which is pretty typical, but I do want to try it with this brush because I think it's going to be a really nice formula to use with this brush. It does pick up quite a bit, so don't be me and go in super heavy-handed. I just wiped all of that off on the back of my hand. This is a really nice brush to like pat and stipple the product into the skin. I do really like this brush. And I know that Rose Inc. tried to come out with a very similar brush, and all the reviews were basically like, it pokes your face so crazy. So I was a little nervous because this looked to be kind of made the same way, but these are very, very soft. Very, very soft. And it has like such a nice slant to it. I do really like this brush. I think that bronzer is growing on me. I do think I like the color maybe better than the Merit, but I'm so far into the Merit. I can't give up on her now. Do you know what I mean? And the Merit is a much different look. This actually gives me like fairly bronzed look. The Merit is like barely there, hint of color that just makes me look not sick, you know? And let's move into some lips, and then we'll figure out what to do with the eyes. So I picked up the Ami Collet, the K-Skin. This is the clear from K-Skin. This is my favorite lip SPF, so I'm not going to open it quite yet. It's just a clear gloss. But I also picked up the Merit Slick Gelée, and I picked up shade Mapleton. Let's just see what it looks like. I'm probably going to line my lips with the pencil that we got, but I need to feel what this texture is like. It looks very pretty. Very pretty. Just the tiniest hint of color, and it's a beautiful color. It's like a brown with a hint of red. Ooh, interesting. I'm not getting any scent of anything. I feel like from the texture of that swatch, if you can see, I feel like that's where the name Gelée comes from. On the lips, it feels like a very light lip oil. It doesn't have that plushiness to it that the in Beauty has, or the Fit Glow. But it is much more moisturizing to me than their original lip tint. And or lip oil, sorry. I love that color. That color is fabulous with condensate. Ooh, I like that. Okay. I also just needed some moisture. We're going to come back to the Ami Collet because that's what I want to wear. But we're going to do it with, where did I put that? We're going to do it with a pencil that everyone raves about. I do love the Makeup Forever Color Artist pencils. We've talked about those. I have a taupe one that I love, and I did a look with my eyeliner, eyebrows, and lips, and it was really fun to do that. But I want to see what this is about. So that's Wherever Walnut. It is definitely a reddish brown, like a rose brown. Definitely a lot of rose in there. I was tempted to use this on my eyes, but I don't really like rosy, warm browns on my eye. And I'll be honest, I just don't think I can be bothered today. And look, I'm creasing, and I really don't believe that it's the concealer's fault because that concealer sets really nice. I think it's that SPF. But I'm still like floored, absolutely floored at how nice that looks on top of that SPF, on top of all this texture and fine hair on my skin. I can't wait to use that with my normal products. I'm telling you what. I am just going to use this brush because I have it on hand. I'm just going to take a taupe. We're just going to do like a light wash. You could do this with your bronzer too, but I just want a very kind of like low maintenance look today. You know, I just not into the heavy makeup, which is so funny because if I wasn't going to film this today, my goal was to film a very heavy makeup look. So we'll have to do that tomorrow, I think. Yeah, just like I keep adding more to even them out. This is like the eyeliner memes you see. Keep adding more to even them out, and then it just becomes like a full-on smoky eye, which is basically what we did. That's fine. Everything is fine. I think since we did go that far, I'm going to use this middle shade and just tap that on the center of the lid, maybe blend out, just to add a little pizzazz. Yeah. I don't know if you can still get your hands on the Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes palette on the Sephora site. It comes in and comes back out. It comes in and then goes back out, and I don't know why. I don't know what's going on with it. I have had nothing but a pleasant experience with this palette. I really love it. If you can get your hands on it for a discount, I would recommend, but I don't know what the deal is with that, to be honest. I am going to go in with MAC Fix Plus before we do mascara. I kept going because it's quite warm. Quite warm. And while that's setting, let's talk about the mascara that we're going to use today. Okay, now if I were a legit YouTuber, I would have used all Sephora products today, but Condensate's my favorite blush. When I don't know what I'm doing with my face, that's what I go to. And I don't have any mascaras really that I love from Sephora, so I just want to test this out, the Ulta Beauty Lash Flash. This is their tubing formula, and I feel like just from the wand alone, I don't think I'm going to love it. It's got very short spikes, but also one of you let me know in the comments that it just wasn't great, so we'll see what happens, and I will leave a pinned comment on how it washes off tonight. It's very thick, which I'll be honest, sometimes I really love in a mascara. Yeah, it adds quite a bit of clumpage, if you ask me, and I am not going to try to build this after it dries, so I'm going to try to get as much as I can on now. Yeah, she's clumpy. It does seem to have some lift though. Like it's definitely a lighter formula than thrive in the sense that it does kind of provide a little bit of lift. We'll see as it dries down what happens. But it's also, it's very thick of a consistency. The weight is light, but it is thick in consistency, if that makes sense. And I'm going to tell you something else. This is the lightest packaging I've ever felt on a mascara. The restraint it is taking me to not just like full on mark up my whole eye from it slipping is wild. I feel like you have to be very delicate because it feels like I'm holding nothing. This could be very dangerous, I think. Oh yeah, I'm starting to see what that person was mentioning in the comments. It is very easy to clump your lashes together. If you like that look, I think it's going to be good. If you don't like that look, might I suggest not using this? I kind of like it. It's odd because let's actually try to build. It makes it very clumpy, but it doesn't seem as volumizing as something that clumpy would be. And I don't think, now I'm understanding the comment more, because the consistency being as thick as it is almost like it has been left out to dry. So I don't think letting this formula dry anymore is what's going to make it better. I think it just might be a flop. Yeah, looking at my lashes, I think it's a flop. We'll see. We'll see how it washes off. That said, I'm going to wipe off this Merit. I really like the Merit one so far. That color is gorgeous too. It looks a little bit more pink on the lips, but with a different makeup look. I wouldn't mind that. I wonder if it's pH bound. Or I said pH balancing. I mean pH changing. It might be, because it's left some pink on my lips. I don't like that, but the consistency is really nice. So I'm going to line with Wherever Walnut, and we're going to see if this is as life-changing as TikTok made us believe. Oh no. It is a nice color. It's a nice color because I feel like a lot of people are probably similar. Their lips are quite pink. My lips are actually fairly pink when they're not dry as I'll get out. And some of the more brown shades are almost too brown, whereas this, it has warmth. I think it's going to pair really nicely with the Ami Collet. I got the shade. What shade? Is it Excellence? Okay, the shade is not on here. I think it's Excellence. I'll pop on the screen if I'm wrong, but it's this beautiful brown shade. Oh, yeah, I think this is going to be nice. Again, no scent, just smells like the ingredients. It has one of those lovely big fat doe foot applicators, and it looks, just the way the product is sitting in there, it looks like it has one of those divots, which I love because I love a big juicy application. Oh yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay, first of all, this color is gorgeous. If you want to partake in like the 90s brown lip, but you don't want to commit fully, I think this is the shade for you. Now that I have that cleared off, do you see the ridges? Almost like steps. I've never seen that before, and it was a pleasure to apply, and it definitely grabbed a perfect amount of product. This thing is, she's full because she doesn't want to stay closed. I love this lip color. Also, I just blinked a little too hard, and that is still wet. Oh gosh. Okay, well, here is the finished look. I actually did a lot better than I thought I would. What do we think? I'm going to clean up the swatches so that I don't wreak havoc on my white dress, and then we will recap my purchases. Yeah. the brain. She's still trying to figure out how to work today, you know? All right. If you survive this long, you are the real MVP. You mean the most to me, and thank you so much. I could re-film this, but nah, you know, but we talk about it all the time. I don't do perfection on my channel. I'm not a real YouTuber, okay? Okay, let's run through the products and if I would pick them up or pass. The sale is still ongoing. I will link down below all of my recommendations. I will also link below what was in my cart, aka what is in front of you now. If you purchase through those, know that they're affiliated links. They're affiliate links, and I do receive a small commission at no cost to you. I 100% appreciate your support. You by no means have to do that. Feel free to Google outside of my links, shop another creator's links, but just know that anytime you do shop a creator's link, it really helps us fund running a YouTube channel because it is not cheap. Okay, enough of that. Rose Inc. Solar Power Luminous SPF 30 Serum. If you really like the Biossance, you might like this. However, this is oilier than that, so keep that in mind. This is a pass for me. I'm glad I didn't invest in the larger bottle. It would be going back. I don't see myself using it, although things worked out today. I'm still sticky, and it's not from the concealer. A pass. The Glow Recipe Strawberry BHA Pore Smooth Blur Drops. I think I'm going to really like these. I want to continue testing with more of my normal routine because I think it'll show us a little bit better. However, do not be afraid of this if you thought it was going to be a silicone type pore filling product. It is not. It is watery. It is hydrating. We'll see about the BHA in it. My skin can be sensitive to that, so I will continue to use this and give you a kind of more well-rounded review of it later on. But if you were holding back because of that silicone feel, that is not this product. Very, very happy that it is not. Then the Prism Libre Skincare and Concealer by Givenchy. I'm obsessed. I'm so obsessed. Khaki rarely steers me wrong, and anytime I don't like a product she recommends, it's like an anomaly of sorts. I have not quite put my finger on what it is that makes our preferences differ, but it is very few and far between, and this is no different. I absolutely love this, and the Rose Ink is no small concealer. And just for size comparison, in the Givenchy you get 0.37 fluid ounces, and in the Rose Ink you get 0.36 fluid ounces. So I mean, almost on the nose, same amount of product, and the Rose Ink lasts me forever because it's so concentrated. I probably will go through this a little bit faster because I would not wear this all over my face as a foundation. I would for this. This, I feel like, I'm going to say it, this completely replaces me needing to have Kosas and Rose Ink. I'd rather just have this, just one and done, you know? So I will probably go back and get a lighter shade. It honestly doesn't look too bad, but don't mind these fake swatches. You can kind of see here to here. It's just a little too dark and a little too orange. And my ear, you can tell with my ear. I will be replacing this for a better shade, but I'm very, very happy. I think it's worth the hype that everyone has been saying. We'll see how it wears, but I mean, it looks so nice, even on these crazy areas. Like usually that would hug the Rose Ink badly, and the Rose Ink I love the finish of, so I'm so happy with that. The NARS, I still love this as a foundation. It's still my favorite foundation. I just don't think Siberia is the shade, and I don't think Mont Blanc is my perfect shade, but we might have to settle for Mont Blanc, you know? It's just the way it goes when you are, one, neutral and you like a NARS product. They all swing pretty yellow, in my opinion, either yellow or pink. Like, they don't have true neutrals, so I don't know. Back to the drawing board with that. Then the Rare Beauty new shade of the Warm Wishes bronzer. I do like it. It is a much better match. I do think that there is room in my collection. It's almost like not really bronzed, middle of the road bronzed, and then I bring in my Gucci as like, I want to be very bronzed today. So I do like this. I'm happy to have it. I will be rehoming the other shade and keeping the new shade for sure. And I will be keeping it in my collection. The Merit Brow Gel has been a favorite for almost a year now. I will continue to use that for sure. Wherever Walnut, I really like this, especially paired with the Ami Collet. This feels very, very similar to Lip Tinted. And you know how much I love those. So I'm very happy to have this. This will get used up for sure. I don't have another color like this in my collection. Yeah, very, very Lip Tinted. I don't have another shade like this in my collection, and that doe foot is just such a cool little detail. But I love it paired with Wherever Walnut, so I'm happy to have this. I think it's going to be a really nice contouring lip liner if I'm wearing more of a brown shade. I love it. The Merit can confirm it is pH adjusting based on the stain left behind. Pretty disappointed in that because I don't look good in those shades. The longer I would have worn it, the worse it would have looked. So this might be going back. It feels really nice, but I just don't like pH adjusting products. Nothing about them make me happy. It's just not for everyone, you know? They all go the same color and it's not for everyone. So that might be going back. On top of that, what else did we pick up? Oh, the Rare Beauty brushes. These are no different than the other brushes I have from Rare Beauty. Very soft, very effective. Oh, this one is so bouncy and soft. I think the cheek blush brush is my new favorite, which is hard to say because the foundation and the concealer brush, which I used in this video, I love these. These are probably my top favorite, but this comes in a third. I think if you had these three plus, I'm never going to find it, the eyeshadow brush, that is a perfect replacement for your finger for so many shadows, cream or powder. I think those four are really all you need. I am happy to have these, but I wouldn't probably go out of my way for these. I like the shapes of some of my other brushes in my collection, the powder brush and the highlighter, but these three, oh yes, I would repurchase these if I lost them tomorrow. So I'm very happy with my brushes. And I think that's it. I will tell you, I'll keep you posted on the Ulta Lash Flash, but I don't have high hopes. We're looking a little flat, a little clumpy, not a lot of volume, not a lot of length. Did it dry finally? It did dry. We'll see how it removes. And then lastly, the Bondi flyaway thing. Yeah, I like it. It's not going to cement things down, but I wasn't looking for that. I think if you have fine hair and you just need a lightweight thing that's not going to get crunchy, I think that's perfect. So yeah, those are all my products today. Hope you had a good time. I had a good time filming, although I do feel scattered. But now you know why. I'm hoping to film a little bit more this weekend. We'll pick back up on regular scheduled content next week. I just had to get through prepping this 3-day workshop that I'm running at work, and it was no small feat. So that plus my period, I'm a whole new woman after today. Need lots of sleep tonight, and we'll be good as new. Anyway, back to regularly scheduled content next week. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you have a great weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.